Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back. It's Monday night, which means one thing: Sky Bet League 2 Live is back. What a time for my phone to go off. I hope we're well. Thank you for joining me on this fine Monday evening as well. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay in the chat down below. But to go through some Sky Bet League 2 action, we can't do it alone. We're going to get my trusted partner over from Cheltenham, where we both got the W this week. Both got 3 points. Josh, how are we doing, mate?
I'm doing well, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm very well. All the better for getting 3 points. We're going to discuss it all in the episode as well. If this is your first time, this is League 2 Live, where we're going to discuss all 12 matches in a match of the day order, in the best games to the worst games. We'll also have our predictions for next weekend as well, where you can join in down below as well. So let us know if you can see and hear us down below. Let us know how your team did this weekend as well. Quickly before we get started, talk to me about your weekend, Josh. 3 points. We will discuss it more in further detail very shortly because your game was quite entertaining. 5 goals.
Yeah, it was quite entertaining. Yeah, good weekend. I mean, football on Saturday was cracking when you get a 96-minute winner. I think that's the first time in a good few years we've had a meaningful late goal. Usually, like, our late goals are consolations, but to actually have a meaningful one, it was quite nice. And then a bit of Sunday League yesterday, and yeah, decent weekend. Yourself?
Yeah, very good. I did a 10-mile run yesterday, which was tough, and obviously preparing for the next episode of the podcast, which again continuing to develop on. Second episode being filmed this week, out in another week or so, I think that one. So got a bit of a higher turnover on that one. Good evening, all. Hello, Ali. Thank you for joining me as well. Thank you, Luke. Perfect Port Vale. I like the sound of that. They didn't get too many wins last year as well, especially towards the back end. Did start all right relatively. They were up there at one stage, weren't they, with Exeter?
They were, yeah.
Up the Chuffing Vale. A couple of Vale fans in already. We're going to start off with AFC Wimbledon, who got a 4-2 victory over Colchester. Goodliff with 2 goals. He's only scored 2 goals in his previous 53 games, which outlined back for the last 2 seasons while he was at Sutton. A great start to his Colchester career. Jack Payne getting 2 assists. Jack Payne is a absolute assist monster, isn't he? He's got over 4. I think he's now registered 50 league assists since the start of the 2013-14 season. Highest he's ever got in one season is 8 with Oxford in 17-18. So he's a quarter of the way there already. 2 good dead ball situations as well. But then Wimbledon fight back, score 4 really good goals. Matt Stevens, who only scored 9 goals at this level last year, 3 of which was against Colchester. So 4 of his last 10 goals have come against the same opposition as well. A great result for the Dons, being 2-0 down after 9 minutes, winning the game 4-2. They finished 10th last year. They want to get into the playoffs, so it's a good result for them.
Yeah, I mean, to speak for Colchester first and foremost, it was a dream start, wasn't it? Going 2-0 up in the first 10 minutes, as you say. Jack Payne, 2 incredible balls in on his left foot, and 2 really, really good headers from Goodliff as well. I think that's how you pronounce his name. As for Wimbledon, obviously up against it, 10 minutes in, and then to go in half-time 3-2 lead. Fair play to them. And then obviously second half they came out and they grabbed another goal.
Yeah, Bugle with a goal as well. Big play for them this season, I think. I thought Reeves in midfield was fantastic. 9 goals recently as well. And he won promotion with Stevenage, didn't he, a few years ago. So it's good that they got the experience in there. Johnny Jackson, huge in there for them as well. Talking about yourself now, who was also involved in a 5-goal thriller at the weekend. 3-2, Colwill and Dawson with the goals as well. Over a Newport side that are in transition. They are in a new manager phase. Lots of young players. Baker Richardson returned to the football club. 17 goals in his last 68 League 2 appearances. He did score 8 in 32. For Newport County last time around as well. Greaves also has come in and on his debut got a goal as well. I think he was at Mikolova Sports, wasn't he, previously in the non-league setup as well. But a great result for you. You go 2-0 up, and then 15 minutes later, you're back at 2-2. And you bet you're thinking at that stage, here we go again. Cheltenham Town are back. 2 poor goals to give away. And then right at the end, you snatch 3 points. You created a lot of chances. A Newport side, probably not the best time to play them because you don't know what you're going to get from them. But a good win, 3 points. And you've already scored more goals than you did in your first 9 games last year.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. I thought Newport were surprisingly they look quite good. I was speaking to an old boy before the game in the pub, and he was essentially saying that Newport fans actually feel quite optimistic towards this season. That they've kind of gone for this approach where they're getting in young, hungry players with a point to prove in men's professional football. So that's kind of the approach which they've taken. And first 10 minutes, they were all over us. They could have been 1-0 up. Owen Evans made an unbelievable save. To stop. I think it might have been Camwa actually who had the shot. I'm not too sure, but I think it was Camwa. And then we managed to get hold of the game, scored 2 goals in, I think, the space of 4 minutes. Looked really good for a 15-minute period. And then it seemed like last season where we couldn't control the game. Things started to get away from us. They scored 2 quick-fire goals. I mean, Payne had a fantastic game going forwards, but we've already seen that maybe he might be lacking a bit defensively. Got absolutely skinned by Camwa. And then in terms of the Greaves goal, I feel like it was a bit unfortunate. I feel like Bennett did all right to get to the right side of the man, and then it kind of rebounded off of him. Evans made a good save, and then kind of fell back to him. And then really, second half, it was a scrappy game. And if any team looked like they were going to go and get the win, it did look like Newport. Clark had a massive chance towards the back end of the game, which I'm not really sure how he missed. It looked easier to score than to miss, to be honest. And then, yeah, we ended up going on attack late on and grabbing the winner.
It's a great win for you. Newport County just having slightly more possession in the match. And when you've come down, you've got a lot of new players. It's always a difficult start. And Newport County have had to reduce the age budget. Probably the wage budget have gone down as well. And, you know, I think a lot of people have taken motivation from what Crawley have done. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say this now, and it'll sound crazy. Crawley doing that last year is similar to what Leicester did in the Premier League, and people go, what are you talking about? When I'm saying a lot of clubs like Newport, even Cheltenham and Fleetwood are going, if Crawley can do that with the budget they were on, they're losing the players, losing the key players, signing players from non-league, play with a point to prove. And probably Newport is probably the nearest example you could go for. Losing the centre forward who scored 21 goals, who, bear in mind, hadn't done much previously, scored 4 goals the previous season. They brought players back that they know they can trust, and then the non-league players as well. So I think it's a great result for you. What are your thoughts for the rest of the season now? Because it is only 1 win, and there's still a long time to go. We will get on to Doncaster soon, but just a one final piece on Cheltenham.
Yeah, as I say, it's nice to get an opening day win on the board. I mean, I think it's been over 10 years since we last won the opening day, and it did seem like it was when we played Peterborough 2 years ago where we went 2-0 up and then we ended up losing 3-2. It had an eerie feeling to that day. But no, Michael Flynn came out and said that it's history made, and I suppose it is because it's been a long time coming, and hopefully, you know, we can kick on. But I do appreciate we're only 1 game in, and things don't really start to take a shape until about October time.
Hello to everyone in the chat. There's currently 28 people in. We're at 14 likes as well. We are trying to grow this League 2 setup as well. So if you could like the stream and subscribe if you haven't already, it would be greatly appreciated. Now, we're going to talk about Doncaster, who not a lot of people have been talking about because of the business Port Vale have done, which they needed to be doing because they had a bad changing room that had been losing games of football. MK Dons have added gems to an already good squad, but Doncaster have added players in the right areas but kept key players as well, which I think is crucial. Doncaster, bar the playoff semi-final in the regular League 2 season, have now won their last 8 home matches. They did beat Accrington at home 4-0 last year, so a slightly worse result this time around. Doncaster slowly slipping, only the 4-1 this time around. Luke Molyneux is a player that came on leaps and bounds last year, and a player that over the years has kind of been branded as right. Where do you play him? Do you play him on the left? Do you play him on the right, which I think is his best position on that right winger? Do you play him in behind the striker? Sometimes he's even played at fullback, or he can play in midfield. And that's the versatility. He got 18 goal contributions last season as well. And already started off. He's 26 now and coming into the prime of his career. Jordan Gibson had in a goal. Gibson has only scored 18 goals and 156 in the EFL. He came from Sligo, got 9 and 36 over there. He was previously at Bradford and then struggled at Carlisle, although he actually had his best ever season last year in the EFL, scored 7, 3 of which was against Bolton last year. A huge congratulations to Billy Sharp on scoring his 250th career goal in the Football League. He's now scored in 20 of the last 21 seasons. He's been about a bit, hasn't he, Billy Sharp? Yeah. The only season he's not scored in the EFL was last year, where he played 11 times for Hull in the Championship as a bit part player as well, as a coach more likely. Great result for Doncaster. Grant McCann said the aim is to win the league. To start off with scoring 4 goals, looking as emphatic as that, they could have had 6 or 7. It's a great way to stamp your authority at home. The reason why Doncaster didn't go up last year, because of the first 30 games of the season. The last 16 games, the best team in the football pyramid. By some distance, they were unbelievable. Them and City and the whole football pyramid just won 10 in a row. To start well this year is vital, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it comes back to what you said, that they've retained most of the squad, apart from obviously the lads which they had on loan, which without respect to them, they're probably going to go play at a high level. Like Matt Craig's already gone to League One, and the only other big loss is probably Harrison Biggins, who's gone to Shrewsbury. But like you said, they have brought in quality. They brought in Jordan Gibson, who I thought had a really, really good game on Saturday. Could have had 2. Absolutely cannoned the post from about 25 yards out, and then had a really well-taken goal. I think defensively, they look strong again. They look good at the back. And as for Luke Molineux, I mean, I spoke about him earlier on my own page. And for me, I think if I'm going to make any early predictions, I think he will be player of the season come May time. I just think his skill set, it's of a higher division, and in League 2, I feel like he's almost going to stat pad a little bit, because on Saturday he looked unbelievable, unplayable, hit the bar, got 2 goals, got an assist, created I think 3 big chances, and it's some side they got and some gaffer. So yeah, I'm interested to see how high Doncaster can go this season.
What I like this season about League 2, and I've watched bits of it over the recent years, and I've done a lot of prep for this season, and as I know you have as well. We've already spoke about Wimbledon, Cheltenham and Doncaster. No one spoke about Cheltenham yet. There's still a lot of work to be done there, respectively, and the same at my football club as well. But Wimbledon, Doncaster are 2 clubs. We'll get on to Gillingham and MK Dons and Bradford shortly. They are in the next 2 games as well. What I'm seeing positives early on, starting with a bang, scoring lots of goals, winning games of football, and it breeds confidence. And starting at home, as a tickless as a manager, you always have win the first game, get the first win on the board. First clean sheet of the season is vital, I think. He's not quite done that. It was a poor goal to give away from an Accrington Stanley point of view, who I think are going to lack goals this season as well. I know the goal scorer, was it Walton? He's coming from Southport. Yeah. He only scored, I think, maybe 10 goals for Southport as well. So it's not great. And, you know, it was a good build-up for the goal, don't get me wrong, but I struggle to see where their goals are going to come from. And I know it's the Accrington Stanley way. They have signed experienced winger Ash Hunter, previously of Fleetwood Town, been at MK Dons as well. But realistically, Fleetwood has struggled since leaving the club. We'll talk about Gillingham now, because I thought they were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Dieng in midfield was outstanding. Got a goal as well. Got 8 goals, 6 assists in 22-23 as well. Wakeling got a gift of a goal. On loan, was signed for Peterborough on deadline day last year from Swindon. So he's struggled since then. Nolan got 17 goals last year, 8 assists. And then you've got Williams as well, who didn't even score a goal last year, gets a goal and an assist and came on in the 51st minute. So, but he shows at Swindon. Now, how many times in this League 2 season are we going to mention this player did this at Swindon, this player did this at Swindon? You go back to Jake Young, you go back to Williams, you go back to Kemp at Stevenage, you go back to Johnny Williams, you know, Ian Doyle, Jerry Yates, if you want to go back a few years as well. So, Swindon are very good at giving players a chance. 10 goals, 2 assists when he was there in 22-23. Great result for Gillingham on the front foot. It's the first time Gillingham have scored 4 goals in a match since 2021, early 2021. I think it was January, February time. So it's a long time. They scored 36 goals and 46 goals in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
Come on.
40. Well, they're a tenth of the way there already, aren't they? With 4 goals Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. 82 goals in the last 2 seasons. It's not been the conceding goals. It's just been they can't kill games off and can't create a chance. Now with the likes of Wakeling, now with the likes of Nolan, you got Williams in midfield, you got Dieng who can pop up with a goal, and other goal scorers as well. They've got a chance when they score goals.
Yeah, I thought they were clinical on Saturday. If you actually take a look at the stats of the game, it looked like quite an even game for us. And I mean, Carlisle edged it on XG. They had more shots actually at goal. I think it was an emphatic display from Gillingham, and it's a big marker to start off the season. For Carlisle, very disappointing. Last season they weren't great away from home. Obviously they had big wins at Bolton and Peterborough, but I feel like for Carlisle fans they would have liked to have been a bit tighter at the back, and unfortunately some of the individual mistakes are still there from last season. A lot of the defence is still the same. Joe Lewis, I mean, it's inexcusable for his mistake, and the same for Terrell Thomas. The fact that they're doing that on the opening day, like you work hard all pre-season, keep it tight going into the campaign, and to do that in the opening 55 minutes, it's just really disappointing.
Yeah, Carlisle conceded 81 goals last year. To concede 4 in the first game of the season is very, very poor. And Mellish got 5 goals last year and he's your goal scorer. Charlie White did hit a bar. They had an expected goals of 1.93, Carlisle, so they were in the game as well. I thought Vale has actually had a good game for them the other day. He had got a lot of stick, but I thought he was all right in the match from the bits I've seen as well. For Carlisle, though, Paul Simpson, what do you think about him? Because as a manager, he's done very well at that football club. He's a legend there. I think he was there as a player as well. He got him promoted. Last year, got relegated. He got backed in the January window. Not to a great degree, but he brought players in that he wanted, like Harry Lewis and Josh Vella being 2. Charlie White came in this summer. A lot of new work being done at the football club. The owners are spending money. Do you think that a couple more performances like this? Now, look, they've got Barrow on Saturday. It's a local rivalry. It's a big game for them. They lose that in the front of the home crowd, things could slowly turn at Brunton Park.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the pressure's definitely on. I don't know how long you can live off the pass of obviously being a legend and getting your club promoted when you have just finished rock bottom 24th and you're getting battered 4-1 opening day of the season. I think a lot of other clubs by now probably would have sat their gaffer at the back end of last season, and like you said, he did get backed in January. He's been backed again this transfer window. So for him, I think opening 10 games is make or break for him, and he's got 9 more to really turn it around, because that was not a good showing on Saturday whatsoever.
Absolutely. Let's come to some of the comments. Get your comments in. Give us some feedback along the way as well, and we'll come to them. We'll have an extended Q&A tonight as well. Hello to Channel 72. I heard he's got posters of Josh up on his bedroom wall as his favourite Cods Vlogs co-host. So that's a little story that I got emailed in before as well. Yeah, Jaden injured. Yeah, Jaden Stockley's out injured at the moment. Yeah. I've only just joined the live. Thank you very much for joining. Jono, thank you very much for the kind words, mate. Yes, the podcast went well. I still think there's work to be done on it from myself, but delighted the way it came across. How do you join as a member? Now, you can click the link down below in the description. So if you go down there in the description, it'll have a link, join as a member. Or if you go to my channel, you can press join via that way. But the easiest way, if you click down below, on the description, click the link and you can join. There's 18 previous videos uploaded to this weekend, and we've got 1 coming midway through this week. We might even have a bonus one this weekend as well to take you up to 20 as well. So get below. We are at 51 members now, I think, as well. So it's growing all the time. MK Dons 1, Bradford City 2. Everyone's making out this is a shock. Bradford City are probably the biggest club in this league, have gone to MK Dons and won, and everyone's going, wow, what a shock. Does that not tell you how far Bradford have fallen in previous years, the standard? And I don't think over the years, Bradford in big games, that's been the problem. It's been beating sides at home and when they should be doing it, when they've got the authority. I think the biggest thing for me in this one, mate, was MK Dons had 7 new players in the starting 11. Bradford had 3. After 4 minutes, the scoreline is MK Dons 0, Bradford City 2. Bradford City knew what they were doing more. They were more together. MK Dons were a bit all over the place. I know they've had some tough pre-season games against Plymouth and they played Portsmouth as well. But Bradford, Patterson, what a goal, by the way.
Yeah,
One of the goals.
screamer.
He's a great player now. He struggled last year, but at Harrogate across 2 seasons from 2021 to 2023, he scored 18 goals and got 11 assists. He got 9 goals and 6 assists and 9 goals and 5 assists. So he's very consistent with his numbers. 2-0 after 4 minutes is a great start. You can't get better than that. Right at left wing back was great going forward, suspect defensively as well. But a good win. MK Dons did get better as the game went on. 5 shots on target to Bradford's 2. Bradford scored with every shot on target. If they do that this season, they'll be all right. If they can have a few more. Great win for them.
Yeah, I think from a Bradford's perspective, if you were going to play MK Dons anytime this season, you probably wanted them opening day because of the fact that you mentioned that there's so many new faces, and at Bradford it was kind of a similar side to which they were fielding last season. 2-0 after 5 minutes, you're in dreamland. I thought Tyreek Wright did really well for the first goal to set up Patterson. Bringing him back to the club, I think, is a great signing. He for me, he's a League One player, but he hasn't really shown his qualities to do that. I remember watching him. I think back when he was about 16, I was on a trip to St George's Park with my college, and Ireland under-17s was playing, and he was a good little player back then. But no, I thought he did excellently. And then second goal, I feel sorry for Sheringham because I feel like he needed a call from Tucker or the keeper. I feel like he had a lot more time than what he realised, and I feel like it was just a bit of miscommunication, which resulted in an unfortunate goal. And then in terms of Gilby's goal, I thought it was nice play to put him through, and then he took his finish really well. And I'm not going to look too much into it. As we said, MK Dons have got a super team. They had 68% possession. We know what they're going to be like this season. They're going to be up there. They play their nice, attractive brand of football, and they will get results in this division.
Absolutely. No Jake Young yesterday as well, on Saturday, sorry. He was on the bench. He scored 16 goals in, 26 games for Swindon. Struggled at Barrow before that. But again, a player that's done well at Swindon hasn't done well elsewhere. And they must have an issue, Bradford and Swindon, because they had Ian Doyle, who was unreal at Swindon on loan from Bradford, and then comes back and just doesn't fit the system. And I think what Alexander did well the other day, it seemed to be Kavanagh off Cook, kind of in a 3-5-1-1 or 3-5-2, as you like. And one thing Alexander will do, he'll play the Bradford way, and that's get the ball forward quickly as you can, get the balls to your wing backs, get crosses into the box. Andy Cook's a 20-goal season striker at this level, if correctly. And I hate this. You've got to play 500 passes, and that's the way now, because Crawley did it, because Grimsby are going to do it, because Crewe want to play that style of football in League Two as well. Fleetwood are doing it a little bit as well, and it's like it can be a bit frustrating because like Salford have tried to do it, but when they went direct to Matt Smith, who scored 25 goals last year and kept them in the division, sometimes you just need to do it to fit the system. And that is the Bradford way. Get the ball quickly as forward as you can. Sam Walker, SHD, who we will hear across over his thoughts across the season, hopefully, as well on this show. That's an invite, Sam, if you fancy it. I mentioned Sam Walker, and I'm a big fan of him. He was a big stalwart at Colchester for a number of years, wasn't he? And he struggled. He's had numerous clubs, Reading, Blackpool, Charlton, since. He was at Kilmarnock for, I think, a year, and he did okay there. But he needs to find a home, and he's starting to find that at Bradford. So a great performance for them. Keep your comments coming down below as we go to Salford City 0, Port Vale 2. Discuss, because Port Vale, great start. Ben Garrity appreciation. He scored 12 goals last time at this level. Scored 9 goals, 3 assists last year. 2 similar goals, but 2 goals, nonetheless as well. Ronan Curtis got 5 goals, 2 assists in 19 games last year for Wimbledon. They're building a good team, aren't they?
Yeah, they're building a very good team, and what I really like is the signings which they made, which are going to make an impact in this division. I think in terms of Saturday, I think it was quite a scrappy game, to be honest with you. I don't think there was too many real chances in there. It was pretty much carbon copy of the first goal that a ball comes in and it's poor defending, it's poor marking, and Garrity's in right place, right time to go and score two. But that's what you get with Garrity. He's a fox in the box, midfielder by trade. But I wouldn't be too against him playing up front because he knows how to put them in, doesn't he?
Yeah, like when I look at sides to go up, I always say 70 to 80 goals needed for me, right? And obviously, for me, people go, scoring goals gets you promoted. I'm a massive believer if you keep clean sheets, you'll win titles, you'll win leagues, you'll get promoted that way. But you've got to have goals in you. You've got Peyton, who is a goal scorer, and a goal scorer is a goal scorer at any level as well. I think he scored 17 and 36 at Queen's Park, second division of Scottish football. Ronan Curtis, 5-6 years ago, and I know this was a long time, was what, in my opinion, one of the top 3 best players in this division. And probably in his position, the best player. He got goals, he got assists. Crowsdale is a winner at this level. Ben Garrity had 10 goals from midfield. Then you've got Tollard, who scored 20 plus for Aldershot in the National League last year. Yes, I granted it's a step up. James Stockley scored 9 goals at a league above, and he's going to be in a better team this year at a lower level, granted. And then you've got likes of Deborah, Hennigan, Sang, Hart at the back who can chip in as well. Connor Ripley, for me, I'd love to see him get promoted. After the few years he's had, I'm a big fan of Connor Ripley. They had 8 new players in that team on Saturday, and they went to Salford and they were like, they played together all their lives. Salford, Stockton is as good as it gets as a signing, 17 for Barrow, and he scored 23 and 21, 22 for Morecambe and promoted. John Taylor hardly played at Doncaster last year, and my never really seen enough in a Salford shirt since coming through the academy. You've got the likes of Humbles and Ashley. Ashley is not a bad player, actually, as it goes. McElhenney has always been this, well, he can come up with an absolute screamer, but he goes quiet in too many games. And he's been at a number of clubs like Wigan, Oxford, Fleetwood, now Salford. And then at the back, they just look really weak. And this Salford team, they signed okay, but they've lost the core, lost their identity a bit. They only had 4 new players. They only had 2 shots on target the other day, and expected goals of 0.47 at home. Fair play to Port Vale, who limited them to the chances, but Salford look very, very worrying, don't they?
Yeah, I do think they're a little bit short, and you could say that the creativity spark in Woodburn, he wasn't started, he came in off the bench, but I do think that it's a mixed bag, but I do think they brought in some decent signings, and I think it will take a little bit of a while for them to gel. So we'll see how that comes in the next few weeks.
Vale, brilliant though, not taking it away. Should we go to Harrogate then? Because they got a win. Harrogate, Bromley. Bromley got a win, Michael Cheek, the non-league legend that is, who in the last 11 seasons hasn't failed to score under 12 goals. Always scored 12 goals or more and got better as seasons gone on. They went away at Harrogate, and this was probably the perfect game for Bromley to start off with, wasn't it, really? Because it's 2 sides that want to stay in the division. It's 2 sides very similar on size and the way they've come up. And Bromley went there as the club that you'd think they've been in this division 4 years.
Yeah, they look really good on Saturday against Harrogate, and like you said, I think it probably was one of the most ideal fixtures they could have got if you're speaking about traveling away to a club. I mean, 17 shots, 5 on target, 1.79 XG. I thought they looked really solid. Michael Cheek putting himself about, and that was a striker's poach if I've ever seen one. Absolutely flying finish with the chest. And then second goal. I mean, simple but effective. Corner comes in, big lad from the back, header, goal. And they could have had a few more as well. There was one point where they won the ball high up in midfield, and I think they had a 4-on-3, and it was just the willingness to work together and press as a unit that I really, really like. And I think Bromley, I'm saying it very early after one game, but I feel like they could do some damage in this division.
Yeah, absolutely. And they had that spirit. They weren't great goals; they were scrappy goals, but you need to sometimes win scraps. And one thing I've learned about League Two, and I'm only after one game, and I watched Walsall, Salford. I watched a lot of League Two back half of last year. From about September onwards, when I thought, yeah, we're going down here. I watched a lot of League Two, and I watched Walsall, Salford last year, where Freddie Draper knocked 2-1 against Salford, and I realised what a scrappy division it is. And it's not about playing football, it's about winning battles. And Michael Cheek has scored 107 in 236 for Bromley, which is unreal. To score 12 plus in every season since the 13-14 season. I also thought limiting Jack Muldoon, who scored 76 and 286 for Harrogate, their star man, I think he got double digits last year, was crucial. Another one that got a scrappy win was Walsall over Morecambe. Now, Morecambe had 8 new players in the team. George Ray did go off injured at half-time because I think that's a loss, because I thought out of all the signings he made, I think there was 14 new arrivals after all. George Ray was probably the pick of the bunch. That was the best signing, wasn't he? After being experienced at Barrow and obviously wanted to stay in the local area as well. Hallam Hope, as a striker, touched the ball 14 times in his 63 minutes on the pitch. And you look through the team, it looked weak on Saturday. It's a great goal from Allen from the outside the box, a defender by trade, I think, as well. What do you think of this one? Walsall 1, Morecambe 0. Morecambe failed to register a shot on target.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at stats, it didn't look like a great game. Morecambe dominated the ball. I looked a little bit deeper into it though, and I saw that their centre half had something like 50 passes, and their midfielders only had about 20, which makes you think that there was a lot of sideways football going on at the back. I mean, Walsall 7 shots, Morecambe 4, 3 shots on target in the whole game. It was as scrappy as they come. It was a great strike, like you say, from Taylor Allen. I actually believe that he started off as a winger. I'm pretty sure he was signed for Forest Green as a winger, but no, I thought Walsall, I mean, in terms of not having a lot of the ball, it looked like a defensively sound display, and they probably could have had another one. I thought Connor Barrett had a really good chance, and Morecambe keeper actually pulled off a really good save to deny him.
When I look through that Morecambe team, Hallam Hope, Harvey McAdam, Ben Tollett, Harrick, I think got relegated. Was it Forest Green last year? Toned is not a bad fullback. He's been at this level. I think he's been at Morecambe before. He was at Gillingham, wasn't he, previously? Stott and Ray aren't bad. Henry he's worked with before. Moore's a decent goalkeeper. But it's that forward line. McAdam, Tollett, Hope. G1 Edwards isn't a bad player, but he's not really been consistent with his form. I worry for them. And Derek Adams was pretty bleak in his press match, which I watched. Barrow. We talk about Barrow, George Ray, got a 1-0 win. Crewe did it the post at the bar, I think, in the game as well. Didn't create much other than that. Theo Vassell scored 1 goal last year. Matched that after 22 minutes as well. Crewe, although they got 22 points away from losing positions last year, they were comeback kings in this division. Couldn't really do anything after going a goal down. A good, solid display at Holker Street for Barrow.
Yeah, again, it looked like a pretty bleak game, similar to the Morecambe Walsall game. Barrow, I thought the ball in from Mahoney was an excellent ball, and obviously Theo Vassell was in the right place, right time. I thought Hemmings was a little bit unlucky with his header, which obviously came off the top of the bar and went out. And then Charlo Tracy's effort was a nice attempt, and I feel like he could play a big part for Crewe this season. He was obviously at Cambridge, came through the ranks at Spurs last season. I thought he was a little bit disappointing, but I feel like the first 10 games of this season, I know I said for a lot of things, but I feel for Crewe it's really important for them to kind of make a stamp on the league. Obviously, there's such a thing as a playoff hangover, and I don't think they gave a very good account of themselves against Crawley at Wembley. So I look at the Barrow game, and I thought that might have been a good chance. Obviously, you say they had a good away form last season, but I think they were disappointed for their own standards.
Yeah, absolutely. Chesterfield started their League Two campaign. Welcome back to the Football League. Dobra put them into an early lead, 17 goals and 62 in the National League as well. They limited Swindon to just 0.02 expected goals in that first half. However, Swindon, Will Wright, what a turn, what a just movement, what a run, drives about 40 yards with it and puts one into the top corner. My favourite part of the goal, I had 2 favourites. The one where the ball stayed in the back of the net after it, like literally just parched its way in, a bit like the Bradford's did as well at the first goal. And then his interview after the game where he checks back, he goes, no, he isn't still turning. And to have that confidence, he got 4 goals, 9 assists last year. So he can play in, either wing back or centre half as well. Part of a back 3 as well, which, Chesterfield, I think, will play a lot this season. Swindon were poor away from home. We touched on that last year. They were the worst side away from home. I think they only won, was it 3 games away? Only Grimsby lost 1 less in 2 games, where they beat Salford and Crewe, I think it was. Talk to me on this one. Great game.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like how the game played out was kind of what everybody expected. Obviously, Chesterfield, dominated the ball as you would expect them to do at home. They're a ball playing side. I thought defensively they were a bit poor for the Dobra goal, and then obviously Swindon got themselves back into the game out of pretty much nothing. I mean, it was an amazing piece of play from Will Wright, obviously picking up the ball inside his own half and then running 30-40 yards and unleashing an absolute cannon. For any Cheltenham fans on here, Dan O'Shaughnessy-esque back at Mansfield. But no, I feel like it's a really, really good point for Swindon, and I feel like Chesterfield will be disappointed that they couldn't take all 3 on Friday.
If you're enjoying the stream, please give us a like. We're currently at 26 likes. If we can try and get to 40 likes, that'd be greatly appreciated. And also subscribe. And a big thank you for 15,000 subscribers, which we did manage to hit just after yesterday's stream as well. So a big thank you for everyone coming on the streams and, Josh himself. So if you are enjoying these League 2 streams as well, the slow start, but we're going to do one every Monday unless there's a Monday night game that I am at, and there's a couple of Fleetwood ones coming up in the no distant future, but lots of League 2 content as well. So if you could get subscribed down below, that would help me out a lot. And talk about Fleetwood. First opening day victory for the Cod Army since 2021. There was no fans there. So that was a good one. Since then, 2 defeats to Portsmouth and Port Vale and a draw last year away at Carlisle. Grimsby, no shots on target. However, 2 early scares. Fleetwood trying to play out from the back. After that, comfortable evening for the Cod Army. Could have had 3 or 4, I thought, in the game as well. I thought Coughlin was unlucky not to score a couple. Thought Tommy Lonergan ran well and got in behind and got into positions. Fleetwood missed a focal figure. They missed someone up front they could hit. A big centre forward. They've just signed someone today as well. I don't want to butcher his name. I'll let you try and do that, Josh, for me as well.
I'm not going to have a go, mate. I think I'll just call him by his first name, which is Meepo, isn't it?
And Meepo, yeah. Good lad, Meepo. But no, we needed someone like that as well. We've got willing runners in, and I thought we look better when we've got Coughlin and Lonergan instead of Coughlin and Graydon. Although I think Graydon's a better all-round player than Tommy Lonergan. I think that as a 2, they work well together, Lonergan. I thought that he's getting better as games go on, and he's still waiting for his Football League goal. I hope he gets it soon. And Coughlin, to be fair, still waiting for his first goal of the season as well. I know only 1 game in. Mark Helm, a level above, putting the ball away as well. 1-0, clean sheet, good start. Fleetwood Cheltenham didn't start last season too well at all when you look at it. But Fleetwood, Port Vale and Cheltenham have all started well with a win. They didn't do that enough last year. They all started too poorly. Couldn't catch up. Great to start off with 3 points.
I'll tell you what, I'm just thinking, I'd be really interested to know if Cheltenham and Fleetwood won on the same match day last season. I bet that didn't happen too many times.
I think it might have done when towards the end of the season. I tell you what, you talk and I'll have a look.
I'd talk. Wow, I'll speak about the game then. From my stats I got written down, Grimsby dominated the ball 65%. I mean, that's what you kind of expect from a David Artell side. They like to be neat and tidy on the ball, but fortunately didn't do much with it, with an XG of 0.61 compared to Fleetwood's 1.09. I thought that Vernon probably should have done better with his chance. And as for the Icelandic lad, which I'm not going to pronounce his name, I thought that was a real shocker of a miss, to be honest. I know it got a little deflection on it and whatnot, but I feel like Fleetwood were a little bit dangerous playing out from the back at times in that game.
Yes. It scares me. We're still in a new process. We're still trying to press a lot up the pitch, which is good. But he's playing out the back. Danny May is the world's worst for it. Now, another stat for you. Fleetwood Town on Saturday had 5 players, 24 years. I think Harrington, Medley, Wiredu, Mark Helm, and there was another one. And then there was 4 players that were 22 or younger. 1 Danny May that was 33 and Coughlin that was 28. And all the subs, bar Lynch and another one, they were all under kind of 27 or younger. So an average age of about 24, 27. And we all talked about Peter's average age of 23 last year. 24 is a young squad as an 11. It's not too young. They'll be young in this league. I still need to go through them all. But Fleetwood want to provide youth opportunities this year. It's a good start, though, isn't it? To start off with. Well, you keep talking while I'm trying to work out this stat because it's
Yeah,
not
no,
looking
absolutely. I
good.
was going to say as well, looking at the Fleetwood team, I do think it is a young, exciting squad, and I look at it and I think there is a lot of promise in there and a lot of chance for development this season. Obviously, under Adam, who was a decent little player back in his time.
Oh, he had a wonderful left foot. I don't think we did. I'm looking back here, even through our good runs, I don't think we did. Or there might be one. No, you lost to Wickham. You lost to Wickham. You've let us down.
There we go.
We
Then. So
didn't.
that's the
We didn't.
first time in over a year. Then.
Yeah. Wow. Things come to those that way. Tranmere Rovers drew 6 games last season in League Two. Notts County only kept 8 clean sheets in League Two last year. Notts County scored 89 goals in League Two last year, conceded 86. Thrilling game, you'd imagine. Tranmere 0, Notts County 0, and there was 3 shots on target in it. It wasn't a great game. Tranmere in the last year or so have been difficult to beat at home. They only lost 6 home games last year. They got, I think 41 points, won 12, drew 5, lost 6. Away from home, they were shocking. They lost 15 of their 23, only winning 5. Good point for both, would you say? Because Notts County are a good side, but frustrating they haven't got off the mark scoring wise. I think this year Notts County, I said they'll probably score 20 less, but concede 25 less.
Yeah, I think that's the issue, isn't it? But I mean, last season conceded 86, and then starting off the new campaign with a clean sheet. It's almost bittersweet at the expense, but obviously scored 89, and they've started off with firing a blank. I mean, I watched the highlights. I watched the short highlights. I went onto Tranmere's YouTube channel. I saw they had extended highlights for the game. I got no idea how they managed to get 9 minutes out of a 0-0. But
do you want to know something? So I think Fleetwood and Doncaster went viral in 2014-15. Our first season in League One, now it was 0-0. Both teams were mid-table. It was like third to last game of the season. And there's no shots on top. There was no highlights, right? And I think this video got 1 million views on YouTube, right? And the highlights of the teams coming out, a goal kick, blow. That's it. They got 1 million. They were the highlights. I thought, similar, going to be for that in it. But overall, good point for both, I think.
Yeah, no, and I feel like on the basis of the game, just quickly, I think Notts County probably did edge it. I feel like Jatta missed an absolute gilt-edged opportunity. Crowley put in a wonderful ball for him, and you would expect, your big tall striker to be finishing it with his head, and somehow he put it wide.
Absolutely so. So we're now going to the predictions part before we do a 10-minute Q&A at the end. So get your predictions down below as well, and you can join me and Josh. I didn't quite work out how we did last week, but next week I'll come back with all the predictions as well. There's 2 early games next week. I'll let you start this week, Josh. Bromley against Wimbledon. Now, both got wins. Both won by 2 goals. Localish game, this one. Bromley against Wimbledon.
Do you know what, Ben? I fancy Bromley to continue their winning streak. Into their new campaign, they're going to keep the momentum going, and I've got them to go for a 2-1 victory.
I'm going to go 1-1. Get your predictions down below. Local derby, Carlisle against Barrow.
Yeah, this one I'm expecting a reply from the Carlisle boys. Obviously not good enough against Gillingham on Saturday. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Carlisle win this time out.
I'm going to agree, but I'm going to go for 2-1. Accrington, Harrogate, alarming start. Both need to react. Both had poor results.
That's a game which I feel like next week we're gonna be talking about, and it's gonna be another one of those games where there's about 6 shots from both teams combined. I'm gonna go for. I'm on the fence of a 0-0, but I'm gonna go for a 1-1.
I'm going to go 2-1 Aki. We will come to your questions very shortly. Bradford City against Salford City.
I'm going to go for a 2-0 Bradford win. I feel like, first time out this season at Vale Parade, they're going to come out of the traps flying.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to 2-0. Looking forward to this one. Colchester against MK Dons.
Great game that's going to be. I feel like Colchester will be disappointed with how Saturday played out. Obviously, 2 goals up after 10 minutes and then throwing it away. I'm not going to say there's a lot of expectation on Colchester this season because I don't think there is. I feel like that's me putting expectation on them. MK Dons obviously losing start as well. They will be hoping to fire back. I am going to go for a draw there. I'm going to go for a thrilling draw. Actually, I'm going to go for a 2-2.
It was a thrilling game last time they met at this stadium. Matthew Dennis, 100th minute winner in a 3-2 winner. 3-2 thriller. I'm going to go for 2-1 Dons. Crewe against Chesterfield. Tough one, this one. They're all tough this time.
That is a tough one. Again, Crewe starting off their home campaign. I think they might just edge it. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win.
I'm going to go 2-0 Crewe. Grimsby against Cheltenham.
1-0.
We've done our job against them.
1-0 Grimsby.
You, boy.
That's 1-0 Grimsby written all over it.
I'm going to go 1-1. Morecambe against Gillingham. Gillingham got 2 long trips to the northwest in the next few weeks. They will go to Fleetwood the week after.
Do you know what? Do you ever get like this feeling about certain games where a team isn't expected
to see a shock?
Yeah, and they got a good side travelling to play them, and they don't turn up. I reckon Morecambe might do them 1-0 at home. You know,
Gillingham actually won this fixture last year, 3-2. Conor Mahoney's 86th minute goal. I'm going to go for 2-1 this time. I think it'll be less thrilling, but they'll still get the job done. Newport County against Doncaster Rovers. Both involved in 5-goal thrillers at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Newport, like I said, I thought they actually looked surprisingly better than what was expected, but conceding 3 goals last week, defensively, they did look really, really poor. And Donny, on the back of 4 goals, they have a superb attacking line. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Doncaster win.
I'm going to go for 2-0. So we play Port Vale. Port Vale against Tranmere. Tough one, this.
Port Vale, Tranmere. I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Their first meeting since February 2022. I'm going to go for Port Vale 2, Tranmere 1. The last game on the Saturday, Swindon play Walsall.
I feel like Swindon are they're gonna carry on from where they left off with a Will Wright. I'm gonna throw out a very bold prediction. Will Wright, 88th minute winner, 1-0.
Swindon won 9 of the last 21 against Walsall. I'm going to go for Swindon 2, Walsall 1. Final game of the weekend, Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff. Notts County against the mighty Fleetwood Town.
Notts County are gonna win 2-0, I'm afraid.
I'm going to go for 2-1 Notts County. I think it's going to be tight. Now, get your questions in for the last 5-10 minutes of the show as well. We'll do our best to answer them. Before we do, get plugging your channel away, Josh.
Oh, is it plug time, is it?
It's plug time, yeah.
Lovely. Right. Twitter, or X, whatever they call it now. Josh Talks EFL. TikTok, Josh Talks EFL. Very close to 12k. I think I'm like 10 followers away from 12k.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I was earlier anyway when I checked.
I'll have to get you there.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'm on TikTok now, boy. I'm been posting on TikTok.
I know you are. You're coming for me. You're coming for the throne, mate.
I know. What can I say? Josh is amongst us in the EFL. So get your questions in down below and we'll do our best to answer them on League 2 or football in general. It's been a good show. We've had 49 minutes of League 2 chat as well. And the show's grown from last week as well, which is always the most important thing as well. If we sign Bradley Dack, do you think he'd be the best player in League 2, even if he's half fit? You see these players that are quality and have been brilliant at the former club, but injuries and they're not quite fit. I think you've got to be fully fit still in League 2 now to be be a good player. I don't buy this. You can be hard. I know you can Adel Tarat, for example, wasn't always fit, was he, at QPR, but I still feel for me that these players that have been good before. Still think Bradley Dack's a great player, but I still think that if he's fit, then absolutely. If he's half fit, no.
No, I completely agree with you, and I've said this before, but the standard of League 2 compared to what it was 5 or 6 years ago, it's completely different now. And I think that's because you see these Championship clubs and Prem clubs investing in players from abroad, and you find that these English players who were playing in the Championship Premier League, but they kind of get pushed out the door and fall lower and lower down the pyramid. And I even think National League North now, and even the 7th tier, the standard is very, very high. And I feel like you say, if Bradley Dack isn't fit, and it's harsh to say he's not the player he once was because he hasn't really been fit for the last 2 years, but I feel like he would struggle in League Two if he wasn't all there, if that makes sense.
100%. A question for Tony. New signing has not been given the number 9. I think Fleetwood still will bring 2 more players in before. No loan signings for Fleetwood, by the way, as well. So I think Fleetwood will bring 1 more permanent and 1 more loan player in. What number was he given, by the way, Tony? I've not even seen the article, to be fair. I just rushed home from work and was straight on to prep. What was Bonds like? Right. I'll be honest with you, right? I'll tell Josh this, and I know he's going to smile because I was speaking to Kirsch on that. Bonds, brilliant off the ball, so good, and he looks so quick, glides like when sometimes you get scissors on paper and you just glide with the paper, and it just glides. That's what Bonds is like. He's not like slow. He's just like that. He's like, wow, stop me if you can. Now he should have been booked about 6 times. Now he doesn't put in like little 2-footers or shirt. It's little ones like little. He's running behind the play and he catches his heels, or like
he's like a little two hands on the stomach as well. He loves the 2 hands on the stomach. He grabs the players 2 hands on the stomach.
Gets tight to him, and he should have been booked for. He has 4 fouls the other day. He was brilliant, but I don't know. I think this season he'll get 15 bookings by watching him by that performance. Is he like that? Is that just Bonds?
I mean, I wouldn't he's not a dirty player, but yeah, he commits fouls. I'm not sure how many. I'm not
it's
sure
silly fouls, tactical fouls.
But like he's an absolute workhorse. And me and my mate, I don't know if he's watching. Me and my mate Fraser, we had a game last season where we played. How many recoveries will Elliot Bonds make in a game where literally you just be winning the ball back, and then as soon as he gets it, hits a 40-yard diag long.
A question. What's your guys' opinion on Charlton? I think this year I can see them being very, not difficult to watch, but I can see them winning a lot of games 1-0, 2-0. But sides who do that get playoffs. And I can see them sides being a bit like last year, but instead of drawing 1-1, because they drew 20 times last year, I can see them winning 1-0, 2-1, 3-0. You know, I can't see 3-0 very often. I can see them winning by the odd goal and at home taking the game to people.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I predicted Charlton to actually finish second. And I think the result on Saturday and the way they played is, and I know it's so early to say this, but it is that of a team which could potentially go up. I mean, Wigan have been heavily tipped to do well this season, and they've gone there, kept a clean sheet, limited them to very few chances, to be honest, and then gone and got a late goal. And that sort of scrappy win where there's a togetherness, defensively, everyone's working for each other. That's the sort of teams which do go and get promoted.
We have got West Brom at home. So, never played West Brom. Devante Cole is back. How's he in the Championship, by the way? You've got Plymouth Argyle, haven't you?
Yeah, we got Plymouth on Wednesday. I was going to go to it, and then I decided ultimately I'm not going to bother.
I don't know. How far away from you is it?
It's about 160 miles. Traffic, probably about 3 hours. Without traffic, 2.5.
I can just see Wayne Rooney getting sacked after a month and Ryan Lowe coming in to replace him. Ryan has come in. Do you think teams are going to fear Doncaster? I think that teams will relish playing you because they'll think, right, these are good. These are like, and what's good about you won 10 in a row last year. Obviously, you lost that in the playoffs in a shot game, really. Like, that stunned everyone, that. I think even the best of Crewe fans would have thought they're not going to win that. Like, even if Matt Farley supported Crewe, I didn't think he'd think they'd going to win that. Do you know what I mean? So, you know Farley as well, don't you? You came to Wembley with us, so you know what I'm talking about. And I think Doncaster have just got the momentum. They've carried it on. They've signed some good players. They've kept the core of the team. George Miller, surprised to see go, but never really been fit. And obviously gone to you boys. Good signing for you. But that just shows you the strength they've got up there. I think that people think, right, these are good and we've got to be at our best today. But I don't believe in we're going to fear them. Like, for me, as a fan, I don't sometimes fear the best sides. I fear going to big grounds like Bradford. In League One, when I went to like Bolton, when I went to the likes of trying to think now. Sunderland, Ipswich, Portsmouth. When you're 1-0 up or 1-1, like we were 1-1 for Portsmouth for 25 minutes, and we were the better side for 25 minutes after the goal. But every time they put balls in the box, you're thinking, wow, it's just like they suck the ball in. At Doncaster, they're a good side, but they don't really have that, maybe like a Bradford do, to fear, if you get me. But Doncaster are a miles better team. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with your sort of thinking. I think that they're going to be ruthless at home. I feel like they're going to be really, really good at home, and that they're going to blow teams away multiple times this season, 3-4 goals. I think away from home, I feel like they might struggle because, as you said, I feel like teams at home, they will want to beat Doncaster and they will feel that they have to be their best to get something from them. So I feel like Donny might struggle away from home, but at home, I think they probably will have the best home record come the end of the season.
Absolutely so. Any real shocks this weekend? What would you say shock of the weekend was for you?
Shock of the weekend.
Cheltenham winning, scoring goals.
Yeah, to be fair, my shock of the weekend, I'd probably say, it's hard because I would say Bradford, but like you said, it really shouldn't be a shock because it's Bradford. But I don't think many people expected Bradford to go to MK Dons and get the win. But again, on the same thinking that they had a contingency of a squad which was there last season, and MK Dons had so many different players that I don't know if it can be considered a shock, but I feel like that might be the main eyebrow raiser result.
Yeah, I think Gillingham, I think Ali's just said shock of the week and does scoring 4 goals. I think that and the fact that they've beaten a side that just got relegated and the way Carlisle crumbled, you think that you're going to react. They conceded nearly 2 goals a game last year, and that's a worry, that really, for Carlisle. So I'll probably go for that. Which League 2 teams are you concerned about going down this year? Well, I identified 6 teams that I think will be down there, and I identified Newport County, Harrogate, Bromley, Salford City, Accrington Stanley, and Morecambe as the 6. Morecambe squad is very weak, and a lot of Morecambe fans says it's the worst squad they've ever had in the history. The only reason I've got them to say up is because of Derek Adams and the Morecambe spirit. Maybe that was too much after seeing them the other day. They looked awful.
Yeah, my 4 stays the same. I think Morecambe, obviously, poor squad. Accrington, poor squad. Harrogate, I think they're a lot weaker than they have been in past few years. And then, who's my other one? Who have I said? I've said Harrogate, Accrington, Newport, and my other one was Grimsby as well. Obviously, Artau will want them to play a nice brand of football, but I don't know if they have the quality to go and get goals from it.
No. What has happened to Carlisle? They've just, when you come down, it's very hard to reset as a football club, to kind of adapt. And sometimes other clubs do it quicker than usual. They've just been bottom of the league. They've just had a season of hell. Like they've had a takeover, a lot of change, a lot of new players, a lot of work being done to the ground and the training ground as well, I think, as well. But it's going to take time to get over that, because being back in the 30 after 10 years and putting in that fight, he struggled. Accrington were also defensively. They scored a really nice goal, Accrington. They cut Doncaster open for that goal.
Yeah, it was a great goal, a great ball in from Wally as well. He's going to be.
Yeah.
They're going to have to heavily rely on him this season, obviously.
He's experienced at this level. He was at Shrewsbury as well, wasn't he? But Doncaster are a very good side, so it's very hard. And someone's asked about the table. I don't look at the league table minimum 15 games in. I think that's the first week. I think let's get to middle of October to late October, then we'll have our first League 2 prediction. Josh isn't here with us next week, are you?
No, I am this week, and then I'm away for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's off. So we have got a nice little replacement sorted as well. And he will be revealed very soon, making their live stream debut on this channel. But again, are you looking forward to your holiday?
I am, mate. I am. It's coming around pretty soon. I've got a few more shifts at work to get some extra funds in, and then I'll be getting my suntan. Next time you see me, I'll be hopefully I'll be a lot browner than I am right now, because I'm looking a bit red.
Do we have to? Do we really have to? Right, I'll touch on it. I'll have 1 minute. Brendan Wiredu, right? What really annoyed me, a Derby fan, right, that doesn't say much. Right, they're not the most intelligent bunch, some of them, right? I'm not being unkind, right? They tweeted, they went, "Who's that? Why would we want him? We don't want him at this club." I was like, right, okay. Brendan Wiredu, right, has come to Fleetwood, and he's been here 2 years now. He's our club captain. He's the ambassador, not only for the football club, for the town. Everyone think when they say Fleetwood Town as a Fleetwood fan, they think Brendan Wiredu. He is the first captain, since Pondy, I'd go, since Nathan Pondy was at the club, that had a great relationship with the fans. And we've had some good casual step-in captains, like Ash Eason was never a captain. Don't know how, likes of Alex Cairns. But I mean, official club captain since Pondy, 5-6 years ago, since he left the club. He gets in with the younger fans. He gets the club. He's our best player. Everyone loves him. If he makes a mistake, it is literally like, it's all right. It's all right. If bloody someone like, Lonergan makes a mistake, it's like, you bloody don't. But he gets away with it a little bit more. That's one thing I'll say. And if he's going to go somewhere, it's got to be somewhere that he goes and be top dog. I'd say to Brendan Wiredu, now, if I was in charge, I'd go, I've got no problem in you leaving this summer if my club get this amount of money. Because for me, money means nothing as a fan. It means nothing. I'd be saying, but I'd rather you wait and get a better move. I can get you a better move in 6 months' time. Go somewhere where you're going to go, first of all, and play and be loved. You're not going to go anywhere that's higher up, in my opinion, now and be club captain straight away. You're not going to go and probably play a lot of games in the Championship. He's not. It's being realistic. He's a phenomenal player. He's got an unbelievable attitude. I love him to pieces. I think he's going to go on and have a great career. I think he's only 24. He's the other one that's 24, by the way, and play many times in the Championship and possibly beyond. He can play centre midfield, can play centre half, can play anywhere. Go and be loved somewhere like you are here. Look what we did for Vardy. Like Jamie Pilley said in the Cockers, judges on what we've done. We've always got players, Josh Feeney, James Hill, Jamie got the moves that they wanted. They waited. They had to wait, but got the move. Wait with us. Stay till January. See where we're at. If we're not where you want to be, we'll get you a move. And for me, Brendan Wiredu is the difference between this football club staying up and going down. He's that big. And I think we're a mid-table club. It doesn't take much to swing, really. And what's the difference in funds? £1.5 million, £2 million for being in the EFL? Stick £1.5 million on Brendan Wiredu. That's the difference. Simple as that. There you are. That's my piece on Brendan Wiredu. Thank you so much for watching. Josh, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me on, mate.
There you are. I've had a 3-minute rant. Brendan, don't go. I'll let you out in 31st of September, Brendan. You're not coming out your cage just yet. Shut up. He's staying in there. I've got the keys. Thank you very much for watching tonight's stream. Please drop me a like on your way out as well. Subscribe if you're new. We're now on the road to 16,000 subscribers. Until next time, I will see you later. Big over and out from me. Up the cods.
Up the cods.
Up the
cods, mate. And up the sound.
Exactly. That's what I'm waiting for. Thanks for watching.